Okay, hello. Right, I'm going to show you how you get the word pi out of this, and also where the 9-1 is in here. Should I show you first? Let me show you something else as well, real quick, and that's the idea of where the Hoover Dam is in here, so that we're all, kind of caught up. So what we want to do first is we want to be aware that, let me just hang on a minute. Let's go to a brush, and let me just make you aware that there are fold markers within this dollar bill. There's lots of fold markers actually, and it's to do with where the pattern around the edge of here repeats. And so let me just show you, like, this is a fold marker right here, this is a fold marker right here, the little owl is actually a fold marker, there's another part behind there. Actually, there's one that's tucked in underneath here, because you can make that out from where the pattern repeats here. And again, that pattern repeats here, and here's another fold marker here, and here's another fold marker. And so you can find all these fold markers just by looking at where the pattern repeats. Okay. With that being said, let me show you these bottom two fold markers. So what I'll do is I'll just take my selection tool, and in fact, actually, we don't need to do that. Let's just put a line through them. So if we go through this fold marker right here, if you can see my cursor, and we just pull a line, that's roughly in the right spot. So that, you would fold the dollar bill there, okay? So fold the top half out of the way, okay? And then what you're left with at the bottom here, well, let's color it in. Let's do the sides of the canyon wall here, okay, in brown, okay, for the Hoover Dam. So that's the edge of the canyon there, and then of course, this would all be water back in behind the dam here. That would be, well, in fact, let's do it like this. Let's do the face of the dam is going to be this sort of concrete color. So inside there would be water. So this would all be concrete. Okay, and then of course, when the dam breaks open, what you've got is the ruffles of the necktie of Washington's necktie forms the water coming over the dam. Okay, so you have to imagine this top half moved out of the way. Actually, it would have been better if I just did this, so you could have seen it without that out of the way. There you go. That's the Hoover Dam with the water running over the top of it. There's specific fold markers here and here, and if you go to the $10 bill, okay, the 1010 has the old $10 bill with Hamilton on it, also has the same fold markers and makes a very similar kind of idea with the dam. Okay, right, let's get rid of all that. So there's the idea of the dam in there, and there's a lot more to these folds than just what I'm showing you, and there's a lot of different number jumps in here. We're just scratching the surface here with some of this stuff, just so you can get an idea of, like, some of the hidden stuff in here. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to use a little owl, the superb owl, the Super Bowl owl, to make this, to use as our fold line. So we'd put a crease down here where my cursor's going up and down through the little owl, and what we do is then move that over to the other side of the dollar bill, and you'll notice that actually matches up perfectly with the O there. This sort of shield shape on this side matches up perfectly with the O, right? So let me just go around that with red so you can see. Okay, so the shield shape here, right, this thing, just do it in rough real quick, is going around with this O here. Okay, so what is, if we now come down here with the tail here, I'm not going over the top of it very good, this is spelling the word pi. This is a P and an I. Okay, and we can confirm it's a P and an I by doing this next step as well, which is you take this, okay, and let's just rotate it so you can see this a bit better. 180 degrees. Okay, so we've rotated that. And what we're going to focus in on now is just part of that pie there. So again, we're going to focus in on what looks like, actually, in fact, it's easy to see, is this looks like a 1 right here that I'm outlining, and this is a 0, so it looks like a 10. And then, of course, we've got the 11 in the center of there. Now, the 10th of November is the 314th day of the year. Okay, so encoded right here is the 10th of November in relationship to being pi, pi, the 314th day of the year. So we have 314 encoded, 1011, and the word pi. Okay, so that's yet again, and obviously 1111 is the day after 1011, which is kind of interesting with the whole. We've got a 1 up here, a 1 up here, and we've got a 1 here, and we've got a 1 here, just like we have the 1111 end date for World War I, and we also have the 1111 at the Hoover Dam. Okay, so again, kind of fascinating stuff. Let me show you now, if we can go back far enough. Ooh. Let me show you the 9-1 that's in here, and it's a similar. It's actually a very close, similar fold. A lot of these folds are quite similar. Where we're going to actually go through, in fact, let me put a little mark there so you can see it, is there's actually, if you look at the dollar bill carefully, what you'll notice is that this set of leaves right here, there's a flat spot in this leaf right here. And if you look at this set of leaves right here, there's a flat spot in the leaf right here as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to line up our fold line with these two flat spots, and we're going to see what happens. Okay, the first thing to note as well is this set of leaves right here, there are 5 leaves and a berry right here, 1 berry, and this is a 5 leaves here as well. And this is important with the 155 that's encoded right here. This 1 berry, 155 or 551. This is important with some number jumps that are connected in here, but I don't want to go that deep with this decode. Okay, but 155 is very important with a number jump from 911 to 213. Okay, and 911 is to do with Fibonacci numbers, and 213 to do with Lucas numbers. And there's a third cycle, which is pi numbers. Okay, so you get the idea. Let me show you now where we get the 9-1 here. So I'm coming right through the edge of this leaf here where it's flat. I'm going to pull it over to this side. Now what you're going to notice is that one of these leaves is going to kind of match up. See this leaf that's matching up right here and coming over the top of this one? See how that's pretty darn close to matching up there. I've probably not got it quite right, but that's roughly it there. Okay, now obviously depending on just where you fold, it will match up a little bit better, but it usually matches up just a little bit off, but it's fairly close. Anyway, what we end up with there again is, if we now count up our leaves and berries that are in the middle here, this 155 is now converted to, well, we can just count the leaves. 1, this one's joined up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1 berry. Okay, this is our 9-1 reference right here in the center of the dollar bill here. Now what is fascinating is that if we look at the pattern at the bottom of here, you'll notice that there is a white M formed there. Okay, and that white M actually comes out of, if you were to look at the pattern before we moved it together, actually it looks like a WW. in fact. So it's kind of interesting. But that's our 9-1 reference. It's in the center of the dollar bill there. Super duper interesting. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave it there. If I just back that up, I can just show you that WW. As you can see, it makes more sense now. It's very difficult to see actually, but that is your WW there. One W there, and there's the other one there. Very faint. Okay, and that's joining together, and then it makes the M. Okay. Anyway, what else do I want to say about this? Nothing for this one. One other thing, very quickly, is that the gematria for pi is 25. Okay, and this is extremely important because this dude is also on the quarter, and in another one of my decodes we go through this thing here and this thing here, and this is a reference to this $1 bill, and this is a reference to the quarter. Okay, so this is a reference again to the 25, which again ties back with the idea of pi. Okay, the gematria of pi is 25. Okay, I'll leave it there. Okay, thanks for watching, and catch you on another one fairly soon. Right, cheers. Right, bye.